Today we're going to talk about arrays. Arrays are a way to store data sets in a common variable with the data type of an array. So let me give you an example here. We create a variable and put some values into it. As you'll notice, the variable is staying the same, and I'm just adding the square brackets, which is a way to have PHP automatically set the keys, which would be stored as 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on by default. And I'll show you that in just a second here. So let's create an array that has all the NFC North teams here. And right now I'm just going to do what's called a var dump, which is a way to just dump out to the screen the contents of a variable, in this case this array. And it's a nice easy way to see that your array is set. Typically, when we've just set it, we already know it is set. Where this becomes a lot more useful is if you're doing a whole bunch of conditional logic to build an array, and at the end of it you want to make sure that you've gotten everything. So I'll just save this real quick here and refresh this page. And as you see, we have an array where var dump tells you the type, and this array has 4 elements. The first element, which in PHP the default starts with 0, it doesn't start with 1. The first element is a string data type, and for more information on data types, I will create a video called Data Types, where I explain this in more detail. So the array is really like an encapsulator of other data types. So the first element is a string. Its length is 7, and its value is Packers. The second element, with a key of 1, is a string, 5 characters, and it's Lions, and so on and so forth. Another way to set up this same type of array, where you're letting PHP set the keys for you, and to do it a little bit easier, is to go like this, and where I'm setting it as an array, I'm defining it as such, and then I'm just going to add the values to the array, just like we did before, but here we can do it all in one line. Refresh, and we see the array same as before. It's an array, has 4 elements. We put them into the same order. The keys are 0, 1, 2, 3. So next thing I will show you is just a quick way to show you the type. So with any variable, you can call the getType function and pass it the variable. And just to show you, these are going to get called in the order that I am writing them. So the first one that's going to print out will be the array. The second one's going to print a type of string, because I'm passing temp to get type, which temp has what's called a string. For more information on strings, I'll create a video called Strings, or PHP Strings. this one is going to be an array because it's a type of an array. So just to show that real quick here. And because I didn't do any breaks in this, they ran together, which I do that all the time. So I'll just throw a break in there, make it a little cleaner. There we go. So that is a basic array. Now if we wanted to actually define our own keys, we could create the same array, and in these square brackets create our own keys. And then you can reference elements of an array by these keys, and I'll show you that in a second here. And that goes for regardless if they're defined by PHP or if you define them yourself. That keys are how you access these array values. So if I want to know who's number one right now, I would go out that. Let's get a break so it doesn't run on the same line as the string type. And now it says Packers. If we change that to number 3, which we're referencing the keys here, and refresh it, now it says Bears. So and that the reason we're doing we're resetting some values here. Let me check some. So if I enter array 0, it should say Packers again. It does. Here's the reason why. Because we have the same array variable defined here, up here, this version of the array is has indexes of 0 through 4. And down here, we're just simply adding other elements to that same array, the way it's written. If we were to have redefined array like it is here, it would reset. So if we did a var dump here, you'd see all the elements of the array. So we have, first it has the PHP defined set of Packers, Lions, Bears, and Vikings, with the keys being 0 through 3. And then here we've actually defined our own keys. So because these keys that we defined did not clash with these keys up here, we were able to add on to the array. And there's a whole bunch of other array functions I'll try to create another video where I go over some array functions to manipulate arrays in another video, but this is the basics of arrays.